there is a moment immediately following the button of a music number where magic happens. And that's the magic that happens when the audience applauds.
Just not being able to go to a show, not being able to like sit at a bar and meet some friends is pretty gross. And it's kind of exhausting in a way.
If you would have told us 5 years ago that the world would be shut down and you wouldn't be able to perform, artists would be like, there's no way that could happen.
Nothing matches the feeling of being on a real stage and having a real audience.
Nothing feels as good as performing for an audience live.
Being able to connect with an audience face to face, being able to talk with people before and after shows. I really miss those connections.
There's honestly nothing like just the normal human experience of just meeting people and having conversations.
I just remember in that moment just thinking about all these things that might not happen, but then having this bit of optimism saying, you know what, they'll figure this out real soon. And here we are a year later, and it's still not figured out yet.
The energy will be through the roof. I think like everybody will be so excited to get back outside. Like we all have so much pent up energy, or I think we'll all be really scared, and I don't know which one.
As an audience member at this eventual return to live music, I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure I'll cry, but there are other conversations that have been sort of tabled in the interim about things like systemic funding in the arts that could be readdressed for sure. And right now, I think the priority is keeping ourselves safe and healthy.
Every single time I get to perform live in person with an audience, I always pray. I always thank my lucky stars. It's such a sacred experience for me. My name is Dorje. I'm the singing shaman. I do country music.
I'm a new kind of outlaw. Can you see past the burden boys? 'Cause I'm a new kind of outlaw. You see, I ain't wearing no D's and dukes.
I'd already booked the studio time before the pandemic started. Yeah, was working on pre-production of the album leading up to the announcement of the pandemic, and then recorded the entire album during the pandemic. Just trying to survive as an artist with virtual gigs and safe performances as restrictions allow. It's weird to perform into a laptop looking at myself and then not seeing an audience. I thrive off of audience participation. And I think a lot of artists are like that. We feed off of the audience's energy and their mood. And I mean, that can change the whole mood of a show. It's just how the audience, like what feedback you're getting from the audience. The pandemic itself has impacted all of us, but there's been a lot of social justice issues that have come to the forefront as well. And, being a Black queer woman in the country music space, a lot of that impacts me. I have experienced a lot of barriers of entry in the country music space because of those things, because of those boxes I check. So yeah, it's actually informed my creative process in a lot of ways. And it's put me into a lot more of contemplation and feeling and navigating my experiences, and the way then that I channel that is in my music, in my writing. Speaking to country music, and for folks out there that have an idea of what country music is or mainstream country music, just encouraging people to step outside of what is being offered by the gatekeepers in mainstream and seeking out different artists with different musical perspectives, different lived experience, different backgrounds. There is so much incredible and innovative music being made in that genre that, again, isn't getting the same attention and platforms, but we're out there.
I'm a new kind of outlaw. Can you see past the burden boys? 'Cause I'm a new kind of outlaw. You see, I ain't wearing no D's and dukes. My flow is to the roof, and I ain't here to look cute. I'm a new kind of outlaw. So no mainstream radio. When you're a new kind of outlaw, like me, they're feeling your Black queer flow. My ass is fat. and CMT forgot to air my show. Country music, what you gonna do? So my voice ain't sugar and sweet. If I have to be, then I will be an outlaw. I am riding my drinking beer down by the river, my new old truck partying. I'm a new kind of outlaw. Can there be a spot for us all? So many of us feel like outlaws. Where's real community? All of us together. I love country music. Will country music love me? 'Cause I'm your new wild child. Hey, 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 yeah. Hey, hey, shall be free, and radio banned the song. You burn the chicks' freedom of speech. So what you gonna do when I say I belong? And tell me why we have been outlawed. Different standards for our girl Mickey. Only just too big is an outlaw. Shout out to Linda Martell, Valerie June, my native daughters, BC Ruby, Donna Mason, tired being outlaws. Viola on your war ballads. Maybe we don't have to be outlaws. So here's just one more fact for the target on my back, reminding you all country music is black. So tell me what you gonna do. So tell me what you gonna do. So tell me what you gonna do. Hey, 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 hey. So tell me what you gonna do.
Music is like my healthiest coping mechanism. For me as a songwriter and as a lyricist in particular, it is how I navigate my trials and tribulations and my joy and my happiness in a way that I then think can, be put out there and then could be meaningful for someone else.
With music, like, so many emotions can be tapped into, It can make you happy, it can make you sad, it can make you think, could do all these things, right? And when you're witnessing that in person, it takes it to a whole new level. And that symbiotic relationship where the more energy that the artist gives to the audience, the more energy the audience gives to the artist, and it goes back and forth.
I'm always been kind of out of time, and genuinely am more connected to like weird old records. I would like go to flea markets and antique malls and thrift stores and just look for records all the time. I am Sammy Volkov. I did many things. I was a door-to-door salesman in Los Angeles. I sold pizza in New York. I painted houses. I worked in, for the last couple of years, I've just been working in production offices for TV shows, but all the while writing my own music, and just any moment of free time I had, I would just go hide and work on music or try to go see a show or haunt open mics. just right when the pandemic hit, I was actually doing pretty well and had like a comfortable life. I thought like, okay, I've made it because I can buy headphones and like get Thai food for dinner like whenever I want. So I was like, well, I'm an adult. And then shit hit the fan. So I got the second last flight back to Edmonton out of the US. Since coming back, it's kind of forced me to just commit to working on music and recording music and collaborating with friends. Yeah, I have no intention of leaving anytime soon. I found myself getting a little wrapped up in a borderline aimless life of work and money. That's really, really meaningless. So I think what people are missing is connection and creativity that they can experience communally, and just being physically near people you love. I think that's pretty much as good a lesson as we could learn as a community and try to take to heart, is that we should remember to value those things and not to get lost in day-to-day trivialities.
Something in the way that you run, something in the way that you smile. Your mama didn't like me at all, but your daddy didn't mind. Tell you what, the smile on my face meant. Oh, something in the way that you laugh, something in the way that you lie. She never really hurt me at all, and I guess I shouldn't mind being another blanket to the basement. Oh, pretty good replacement. Brother didn't know where I'm from. Brother didn't know what she hide. Your mama didn't like me at all, but your daddy didn't mind. Tell you what, the smile on my face meant. Mama didn't like me at all, but your daddy didn't mind. Tell you what, the smile on my face meant. Pretty good replacement.
people are always going to need the same things, and people are always going to reach out for the same kind of senses of connection. If they can't really physically get connection, they're still going to need a community. So people are going to keep creating, and people are going to keep finding ways to get what people create to their communities.
It was the longest I'd been home and not working in quite some time. So I tried to do my best to listen. We're seeing more xenophobic violence than ever, and my heart continues to go out to these people that are most affected, and we must begin to prioritize their needs in this time.
We had, I think, 135 house concerts booked across 4 different countries. On March 13th in 2020, of course, everything got shut down, and one by one, every host said, no, we can't do it. So, yeah, I had to rethink what is next and how I want my life to look. Yeah, my name is Ken Stead. Music, to me, means that we share a space and an experience together. It's bigger than any artist, it's bigger than any one fan. I think that you can have lots of personal connections to lots of things, but I think the importance of music for me and what I do, I think, is to bring people together and to share an experience together. I think we'd all heard of Corona, but we didn't realize the impact that this would have. And as the months unfolded and you started to see things being canceled and canceled and canceled and canceled, you realize that this is not going anywhere. And I think we all had hope that this would not take this long. I was always on the road, I was always hustling. And it's the first time for me that I've really been able to put my feet on the ground and feel grounded and have a chance to breathe and reflect. I didn't pick up my guitar for a long time, and I had to be okay with that. I had to come to terms with that. What I find about musicians is that we always find a way to keep music alive. And so in the summer of 2020, we were booking a lot of street concerts and finding ways to be able to keep music happening. Music is something that brings us all together, and it's something that we experience together. And I think as a musician, without the venues, I can't create what I create. The streaming world is not the same when you don't have that interaction with people, and you can't provide an experience that is anywhere near what you do live at the venue. So
the look inside your eyes, you're looking paralyzed. What would happen to you if you came out of your room? Don't fear what you do not know. Just go where you've never been before. And if you may fall, don't fear, my dear, 'cause fear has no place here. When dreams have come undone, rebuilding's just begun. Your mind is full of doubt, even though you pushed it out. Don't fear what you do not know. Just go where you've never been before. And if you may fall,
Don't fear, my dear, 'cause fear has no place here. Don't fear what you do not know. Just go where you've never been before. And if you may fall, don't fear, my dear, 'cause fear has no place here. Don't fear, my dear, 'cause fear has no place here. Don't fear, my dear, 'cause fear has no place here. But what I hope is that we are all appreciative of what we do have while we have it, because at any moment this could happen again, where we are without each other, where we are nervous about shaking hands or hugging. And my hope is that we can return back to that humanity normalcy that we had before.
With the pandemic came social justice issues coming to the forefront, in particular systemic racism, and us really examining that in all facets of our life and in our society.
For me, what really amps me up as a performer is when I'm playing for an audience that's really connecting, and then I feed off of that energy, and then I think I feed that energy back with what I put out, and it's like a circuit, and that circuit's broken with the live stream. My name is Kimberly McGregor. I'm a soul folk rock artist from Edmonton, Alberta. I just released my third full-length album a month ago, but it was all in the can and basically ready for release before the pandemic hit. So of course that changed plans a lot. So I ended up just doing a digital release of the album for now, since it's kind of a challenge to sell physical copies when you can't go out and play. Nowadays, the only way that an artist can really make a living at all is by being on the road all the time. You have to play all the time. Before the pandemic, I spent a lot of my time on the road. I would say that I was probably on the road about half of the time. So my home, for instance, was more of like a touchdown spot as opposed to somewhere where I hung out a lot, which of course everybody's hanging out at home a lot these days. So that's a pretty big change. I think that looking for silver linings is like the number one COVID survival strategy. I think coming out of that rat race, I think we were all in the rat race before COVID. Everybody was just really busy doing the things that we do, maybe not thinking that much about what we do and what we're busy with. And then when all of that stops, most of the people I know have really been reevaluating their busyness. And what am I doing? And is this really what I want to be doing? There's value in making changes that fit more with your core values, and having everything come to a standstill has provided people with the space and time where they really don't have anything to do but think about these things. And I think a lot of people have made positive changes in their life.
Sitting with uncomfortable feelings, got me staring at the ceiling, though I know it's gonna be alright. 'cause you're acting like a child. Need your eyes open wide. Shouldn't be surprised to find that your own load is yours to carry. I know sometimes it's scary, and I want you to be well, but it's time to tell you all about the real world. 'Cause girl, you got some things to learn. Sitting with uncomfortable feelings got me staring at the ceiling, though I know it's gonna be alright. Sitting, waiting for your decision. If you're pulling out that rug again, not going down that road again with you. Oh. Disappear. But why do I feel so strongly? What if I'm thinking wrongly? I only wanted to be kind, leave something good behind me, but my understanding's limited. So tell me, who am I trying to kid? Sitting with uncomfortable feelings got me staring at the ceiling, though I know it's gonna be alright. Sitting, waiting for your decision. If you're pulling out that rug again, not going down that road again with you. Said if you're pulling out that rug again, not going down that road again with you. Oh.
As much as a performer, I feel like I need this to feel happy, fulfilled, and to feel like I'm being myself in the world. I think audiences feel the same way. And I think it's almost as disorienting for music lovers not to be able to enjoy and have that experience enriching their lives as it is for the performers to not be able to. I think it makes a big impact on people.
It's just an adrenaline rush. It's like, I don't know, it's like at the same time very scary and very exciting, because it's like you're getting what you want out of them, but also it could go wrong instantly at any second. It's really exciting. Feels like gambling. My name is Brad Semituk. I'm a stand-up comedian. Leading up to the pandemic, things were like starting to take off. I was, traveling all over Canada. I got some stuff in the States. I won a big contest. Some money came out of it. So I'm just hoping to get that momentum back when the pandemic's done. This is cynical, but I thought the world's over, comedy's over. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be real bad. I've been just writing and working on my mental state. Doing a lot of therapy in the pandemic. At first, I wasn't writing at all or like making anything because it would just make me think too much about how the world was ending, and then I would spiral out of control. But definitely, I've been getting back into it. I've been writing a lot more, probably since December-ish. And yeah, I'm just trying to get back into my groove. But this pandemic really did throw me off for sure. I did some Zoom comedy shows. I started a podcast. I did some YouTube stuff. Just a lot of digital stuff and video content mostly. But yeah, it's definitely not the same. I miss live performing so much. Yeah, it definitely forced me to take a step back from stand-up and work on myself a lot. So that was really good for me. It gave me a lot of perspective on, gave me a lot of perspective on like what I want out of life and what's important to me, and instead of like just arbitrarily chasing fame, because that's what you're supposed to do when you do stand-up.
Hell yeah. I'm happy to be here, everybody. I'll do a joke. I'm happy to be in Gen Z, you know what I mean? Grand finale, that's what I say. Perfect ending to a perfect alphabet, that's what I think. I don't like it's weird talking to people about being in Gen Z, though. Like, I don't like telling people what year I was born in. Like, sometimes when I tell older people I was born in 2000, they act like that's not a year people could even happen in, right? Like, I remember I was on the road with an older comedian one time. I told him I was born in 2000. He didn't even understand what I meant. He was like, "That's crazy, man. I was at a Bush party in 2000. And I didn't know what to say back, so I was just like, "Yeah, man, I kind of was too." Okay, cavernous laughter, thunderous applause and laughter from the crowd that is here watching the show. Also, another joke that I thought of. I'm not a smart guy. I'm pretty dumb, you know what I mean? Dropped out of school. Also, F minuses in all my classes. Did you know you could get an F minus in university? I didn't, but you can, it turns out. Another way I know I'm dumb is my whole life, my dad's two favorite things to talk about have been common sense and how I don't have enough of it. Like, I remember when I was a kid and I would do something dumb, every time I would do that and I'd get caught, he would say, real slow. He would go, "Common sense would dictate," and then he would slowly explain what a smart boy would have did, right? Like, I remember one time I was bleeding out of my face. He had to pick me up from school early because I hurt myself really bad. I got in his truck. First thing he said, he was like, "Brad, common sense would dictate that you not put 2 pencils in your nose and run around going, 'I'm a walrus, I'm a walrus.'" But I feel like there's just different types of intelligence, right? Because my common sense would dictate I go erasers first next time. Another banger of a punchline, baby. Hell yeah. This is actually nice, kind of, because, like, I wish just all bombs were like this. I just wish that if I was going to have a bad show, I could just do it to an empty theater. Another joke that I thought of. It's time for. I played hockey for 10 years of my life, and everybody is looking at my body and being like, "No, you didn't." And the counterpoint to that is they let anyone play. You can just sign up. And I miss playing hockey, but, like, not actually playing hockey because I was bad at it. I would just get dunked on the whole time. But my favorite part about hockey was just acting tough with other hockey players, right? Because that's a big part of the culture. Like, in the dressing room, what we would do to prove we were tough, we wouldn't fight. We would just go around the room listing other guys we thought we could beat up. And then we would just, like, tell other people the list and fist bump, and then everyone would agree. It was very positive, But we were definitely not as strong as we thought, right? Because right after that, every time our dads would just come in to tie our skates. But, like, the craziest tough guy brag I ever heard in my life was one time my friend came up to me. He told me he thought he could beat up his own dad. And it's like, even if I didn't just see him tie your skates, like, that's not true. I know it's not true. And the way I know it's not true is because if you can beat up your own dad, why are we smoking in the forest right now? Okay, is this enough, or do we need more of this?
I just love the sound of a room full of people laughing, to be honest. It's awesome. Especially when it's words you wrote in your room. That's my favorite thing about it. It's always been that, just the laugh sound.
Just having empathy for people right now is super important because we're kind of all just trying to figure this out as best as we can. I'm Josh Sahunta. I'm an R&B pop artist. Before the pandemic, I was gearing up to do my second tour across England. I was going to be gone for a few months, and I was booked for a lot of different festivals in Edmonton. I was going to be playing at Canadian Music Week in Toronto. So I was really just getting prepared for a year of performing. Then it was just this bad news after bad news after bad news, let alone everything else that's going on outside of music. It was just pretty depressing, to be honest. It was really difficult at the start. At the start, I didn't know what to do, but at the same time, it kind of did, in a way, help that everybody was in the same boat. It wasn't really a problem that I was facing alone. I put out an EP that was called The Worst Year. It was basically 3 songs that were just really reflecting on the ups and downs of this pandemic and like the anxieties and the tensions and all these different feelings that arise from feeling like everything that's going around you is completely out of your control. But I've been finding that lately I'm almost running out of things to write about, just because it's finally starting to hit me that I'm not really experiencing that much anymore. Like my day-to-day is so similar that I'm not having conversations and meeting new people and having these different interactions that inspire you to write music. No matter how high your video quality is for your live stream, and no matter how great the audio sounds, or nothing quite captures the emotion of seeing an artist in the same room. I would imagine that once shows do come back, the audience members will have to be wearing masks, and you still won't be able to see their facial expressions, and it'll be weird. But I'm interested to try it. I'm interested to be creative with it and figure out ways to still interact with an audience, even though there's this barrier between us.
What if there's a way we could leave this city, pack up all our bags, head to somewhere prettier, but look at all we've made. Could it all mean nothing? All our little plans had to count for something. You take me deeper than possessions. This love is my confession to you. And all this time I've been searching for an answer, and you're the one my heart is running to. Oh. There's a way we could see the whole world, never work a day, drive down to LA, look at all we've made. Could it all mean nothing? All our little plans had to count for something. You take me deeper than possessions. This love is my confession to you. And all this time I've been searching for an answer, and you're the one my heart is running to. Oh. And you take me deeper than possessions. This love is my confession to And all this time I've been searching for an answer, and you're the one my heart is running to.
What I have learned about music is that it's so universal that it doesn't matter what language you speak or where you're from or your background or anything. It's instantly understandable.
It was kind of scary, but I'm still optimistic, and I think we'll find a way to keep people creating and keep audiences absorbing what people are making.
The logical response is what we just went through. It probably won't open up as fast as we want it to. It probably won't get back to what it was before. But the exciting response is it will happen.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, man, that's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Music is the most foundationally important thing in my life. It has saved my life on more than one occasion. It's something that gives me great joy both to experience and to perform. My name is Cassia Hardy. I am the songwriter and guitar player and singer in the band called Wares. Before the pandemic, I was a working artist, doing my best to get my songs out there and my music out there amidst a disorganized and exploited industry. For me personally, the pandemic has been a time of great change. We were gearing up to be abroad quite a bit in 2020, and instead of that, I spent the time getting to know my city a little better and becoming more engaged in my community and just trying to be a good citizen. Amidst the cultural conversation we had in 2020, I did my best to be present, and it's been a big disruption, I can't lie, but it doesn't mean we can't be in community even if we need to be distant. Doesn't mean we can't show up for things that are important. It just means we need to be more mindful and, considerate about how we show up and how our resources are best used. Our small grassroots arts venues are really hard hit by the past year. They were already pushed to the margins, and now this trapdoor has been pulled out from under them. So art will find a way to continue no matter what, but we really need to check in on our local spaces and see what we can do to support each other and keep these rooms going. We have to wait to make sure that it makes sense to do it again, because the longer we take half measures, the longer we're going to be contending with this. last 12 months have been a time of really deep conversations about substantial social change, and that's always really beautiful to see. Like this facade of like colonial neoliberal dominance, I think has been more shaken than any time I've been alive in recent memory, and that's always a positive.
I think there's going to be a lot less venues and a lot more artists vying for those spots.
My hope is that we continue to support venues through this. I know many have shut down already.
Even just venues, period, I think we took for granted. And we're seeing venues close down, venues that have been around for years, venues that have been arenas essentially for us to start our careers and for us to connect with an audience, and to know that some of them may not be around when everything is sorted out is kind of sad.
I have noticed more often than not, people really come together. And for me, it's really encouraging to see that it is human nature for us to support each other. My name is Emmett Michael, and I am a singer-songwriter. My initial response was fear, and I think that was the case for most artists. It was this scary, overwhelming sense of knowing that music as we knew it was going to shift, and I don't think anybody could anticipate exactly what that would look like. I know that I couldn't. I was really, really lucky to be able to receive a grant right at the start of this. And I'd been planning to release a full-length album at some point, and that was really like my saving grace. And what was cool about that is because I'm not busy with touring or playing gigs, I had all of the time to afford to recording. And so for a year now, I've just been working on that process, and we've just wrapped that up, and now I'm releasing an album in May. It's been hard because I've watched a lot of other musicians really struggle too, and I think it's important to note, like, there's a degree of privilege that you have to recognize as well in terms of how hard it might have hit some artists compared to others. And I consider myself to be quite lucky compared to a lot of folks that I know. It's going to be hard for people to come back from such devastation financially as well for a lot of artists. I have struggled with mental illness for a really, really long time, and in a way the pandemic has exacerbated that. But also it comes back to like the ability to connect to people and finding life there and finding support there. And for me, music has been a tool. I always struggled to express myself and to communicate openly with other people. But when I got on stage, all of that melted away.
Trying to make love from afar, up after dark. Another blank face at the bar. I know I seem nervous, you sort of seem perfect. Had me all figured out on the surface. You look like trouble and I wanted it all. Hope the high makes it worth the withdrawal. Go basement with no one I know. Don't start a fight. The noise always eats me alive. You make me so nervous. I'll never be perfect. You're so different from what's on the surface. I should've known better. You wanted it all. No, the high's never worth the withdrawal. I'm in my feelings again. Did I hold back too long? Was it something I said? Love never does what it says. Let me try to undo all the things that I did. I'm in my feelings again. Love never does what it says. Let me try to undo all the things that I did, and then do it all over again. Let me try to undo all the things that I did, and then do it all over again. Do it all over again. Hope the high makes it worth the withdrawal.
I just really hope that everybody continues to support each other and that we all stay safe and follow the regulations so that we can be together again as soon as possible. Because I know I'm not the only one that really misses being able to be together and go to live shows. So I just think it's important that we remember to be kind to each other.
I think that we'll probably approach it with a different hunger, a hunger that I hope we don't lose, because at the end of the day, God forbid this were to happen again, we have to make the most of whatever experiences we have.
I think that when shows can start happening again, it's going to be wild. I think it's going to be kind of insane. I'm personally, as like a audience member, I'm so excited to just, cram into any venue, any bar, and hug every single musician I know and say, hey, we got through this. I am Steph Irene. I am a country folk artist. Literally a week before the pandemic started, I was in the studio recording 2 of my very first solo songs. Pre-pandemic, I was playing in a band called Postscript with my husband. We've been a band for around 8 years. So we were touring a lot. All of our shows got canceled and postponed. So a little bit frightening. My first thoughts were that it was something that was just going to happen for maybe just a couple months, and then things might just go back to normal. It gave me the opportunity to really, sit down with myself and figure out, what I want to do music-wise, what felt right. As an artist, you can put so much pressure on yourself and on your projects to, really try to succeed as much as you can, which I think is great, but at the same time, you can get carried away and it can become less fun in the end. So this year, I've almost been falling back in love with music and with creating and with the process of that. Not playing in front of humans is very odd. It makes me definitely very sad to see my favorite venues close when I'm playing on a stage or for humans. I love connecting with people, and you can always feel that connection when you are playing for an audience. So I definitely miss that connection. But I do still feel like that we're so lucky to be able to, set up a live stream from your living room, and you're still able to connect, but just in a different way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something to say, anything to say at all? 'Cause last night we fell asleep so angry. Last night we fell asleep so lonely. So lonely. Whatever I do, I can't make it up to you. I gave you all I've got, I gave you all I had. Whatever I do, I can't make it up to you. I gave you all I've got, I gave you all I had. I gave you all I had. I gave you all I had. Do I stay? Do I stay or do I go? The life we built, the life we built is now in shambles. right before you. You can't change a person unless you beg 'em to. Last night we fell asleep so angry. Last night we fell asleep so lonely, so lonely. Whatever I do, I can't make it up to you. I gave you all I've got, I gave you all I had. Whatever I do, I can't make it up to you. I gave you all I've got, I gave you all I had. I gave you all I had. I gave you all I had. I couldn't imagine a life without music, and I couldn't imagine not playing, not writing. But even as a music lover, could you imagine a world without listening to music every day? I think it would be completely bleak and a sad world. Yeah, music is definitely one of the most important things in my life, for sure.
Jobs come and go, road rage happens, people cut you in line. You'll get hung up on your phone breaking or whatever. I think personally, I've really taken that to heart. That only a few things actually are important in your life. And this has kind of forced people to really look at that. I hope.
The experience that you have when you're in a live show, you can never recreate that. And that's something that I think that a lot of times we didn't think about that as much as we do now. My name is Marlon Wilson, better known as Arlo Maverick. I'm a hip hop artist. What does music mean to me? It's a way in which stories can be shared from generation to generation. It's a time capsule. It's a snapshot of what we currently see. A lot of, seeds were planted in order to allow us to break into the European market. We were going over there on average around twice a year. And obviously the pandemic changed that. We've seen a lot of people pass. We've seen a lot of people get COVID. And for some, it wasn't as severe, but for others, they felt like they were gonna die. And things like that make you reevaluate life as a whole in the sense of are you living for your full purpose? Are you spending time with the people that you love? It's been difficult. A lot of the artists that I talk to, we all have the same sentiment in the sense of wanting to be able to connect with an audience, because at the end of the day, that's what we do this for. Myself and the band that I perform with, we found ways to, whether it be virtual performances, whether it be performances in the summertime, in the springtime, where we're performing outdoors, backyards, cul-de-sacs, parking lots, things of that nature. We've found a way to adapt to our new environment. We've now brought the show to the audience as opposed to asking them to come to us. We've reversed it and realized that there are some people that may not have the opportunity to come up. Now we're bringing it to them so they can actually enjoy it in the comfort of their driveway. I look forward to hitting the road again and exploring the world and just performing in front of different audiences. I love all the places that we've been able to go to, and one thing you begin to realize is that we have more commonalities than differences. And a lot of times it's through music that we see those similarities and those common grounds that we have. There's so many things in the world that try to tell us that we're different, and that we aren't the same, but then you throw on a record, everyone's dancing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Arlo Maverick, joined by esteemed guest Rich Echo. And here we are at Festival Place, bringing you what you love so much, live music.
I don't know, nor do you. Just trying to find some simple truths. I don't know, nor do you. Just trying to find some simple truths.
Some nights I drive aimlessly, windows down. Cold air to my face, let the music drown. The noise in my head, the insistent sounds that take away my peace the second it's found. I find myself having conversations, nightly meditations based on observation. Asking for answers, but no one's here. Just that midnight air, not like she cared. Put my V in park, stare at the roof. Let my mind wander, hoping to find truth.
I let my mind wander.
Let my mind wander, hoping to find truth.
Another night with my mind on cruise. All I wanna do is find some truth. Hoping that tonight I'll make it through. Maybe by tomorrow feel renewed. Yet another night with my mind on cruise. All I wanna do is find some truth. Hoping that tonight I'll make it through. Maybe by tomorrow feel renewed.
Yo, nighttime chill, cause nighttime will put me in a zone, put me in my feels. Had me thinking that I'm so absurd to even think about a boy or a girl. In a world where poor kids need textbooks, get denied but city counts a checkbook for more police and build more jails. You can't tell me this ain't built to fail. Prevention is better than a cure, but there's money in a cure, and with that I'm sure the people we supposed to trust. Hold on, I think I'm saying too much.
Get another night with my mind on cruise. All I wanna do is find some truth. Hoping that tonight I'll make it through. Maybe by tomorrow feel renewed. Get another night with my mind on cruise. All I wanna do is find some truth. Hoping that tonight I'll make it through. Maybe by tomorrow feel renewed. Said I don't know, nor do you,
and nor do you.
Just trying to find some simple truth.
Some simple truth.
I don't know, nor do you,
and nor do you.
Just trying to find some simple truth.
Some simple truth.
Get another night with my mind on cruise. All I wanna do is find some truth. Hoping that tonight I'll make it through. Maybe by tomorrow feel renewed. Get another night with my mind on cruise. All I wanna do is find some truth. Hoping that tonight I'll make it through. Maybe by tomorrow feel renewed.
We've gone our whole lives with having it, and then just like that, it's taken away. So I think that, again, it's one of those things where we took a lot of things for granted prior to the pandemic. We were just living life and not saying, hey, like, what if, because we never had to question what if. We've never had to live through anything close to this, So, but I think that one thing we should all appreciate is the fact that it's not just happening to one person, it's happening to all of us. So we're in this together.
Live is what's so exciting about a venue like this, about Festival Place, is that you get to see these things actually happen in front of your eyes.
I miss seeing it. I miss seeing live performances, whether it's music, dance, theater.
My name is Shelley Tukey. I'm an artistic director of a studio in Edmonton, Shelley's Dance Company.
And my name's Michael Clark, and I'm a music director, and I'm the artistic director of the Edmonton Pops Orchestra.
We were preparing for competitions. We were hoping to prepare for a musical here. And then on March 13th of 2020 is when we were asked to close down. Okay, what are you going to do? How are we going to do this? We pivoted. It took us 4 days. We found out what Zoom was. We started Zooming some classes and Zooming and seeing the kids and trying to inspire them. It's okay, we can do this.
I don't see a reality where in 2 or 3 months we just get to go back to normal.
It'll be 4 in a seat, social distance, all over the place. That's what I think it'll be like. But you know what? That's more than we've got now.
Yeah.
It's more, and then it'll slowly start to grow.
We all know now, after a year, that we are passionate enough, we are ambitious enough, we are hardworking enough, that nothing will stop it. Nothing will stop live performance. Nothing will stop us from returning to exactly where we left off. You know, the stories that will come from this. I mean, what truths are we looking to tell? Well, man, did we ever just go through a whopper?
Yeah.
You know, like the stories that come out of the pandemic, not just healthcare workers, not just essential workers, but all of the stories with family and love and all of those core values that we hold as humanity. And it's just, those things will just be elevated and be on display for the world to see in art moving forward, and art will help us to reflect on this time.
I grew up just down the street from Festival Place, and so I've known about it for a long time, and it's been a place that art can live here in Sherwood Park, and I'm appreciative of the opportunities that I get to play, but even more appreciative that we have art and music and theater and dance here in the community where I grew up.